Yo guys, this is Ebs and we present to you another Crack Clan close-up, this time from our infamous English soldier, up-and-coming soldier, Cube. And we're gonna see him playing Pocket for Element of Violence, Division 1 team against Lux.tf, another Division 1 team, on CP Gullywash. And I'm really excited to see how he plays and what he's doing. So, let's go. Gonna start the demo in 3, 2, 1. Let's go in for the normal equalizer rollout here. It's gonna pick up the med pack on the left. Get buffed. And the enemy demo is called left side, so they're going up right side here. Just controlling area. Gets a frag on the soldier, goes back up to take the high ground instantly again. Now his roamer should make room on the demo. They have absolutely no positioning at all anymore, and it won't turn out good for his team here. I'm gonna pause the demo in 3, 2, 1. So the enemy demo was called in belly. That most of the times means that he's gonna stay there for a while, or he's gonna rush up right side. Either way, that means that you have a fairly long time to take position on top right and take basically the enemy choke on without getting really into trouble. And they went top right relatively quickly, were holding position there, and then Cube dropped down to get a soldier frag. I think his roamer ended up really weak, that's why nobody could counter jump when the enemy team was able to hold or to get in position on the top left side. They were basically getting really distracted by that one soldier that sacrificed himself there for the enemy team, and that one, the blue team, the middle here. Yeah, I'm gonna unpause in 3, 2, 1. So he survives that middle, it's good. I think he's gonna reconnect now with his medic, exactly. His medic survived as well. They just lost a lot of fragging classes on the point. And they will have charge to defend the last tier. They don't need any scout off classes or anything, because they should be confident enough to hold this charge versus charge, and then to be able to push out of your last hold you have to have 2 scouts up. Uber comes in left side, they milk it a bit. He's separating a soldier here nicely. Has to watch out that he's not getting too greedy. Just to check if his team is holding their HP, and they are, so he's just applying pressure here. This is a really risky play because his team is not really helping him too much on balcony or on the left side. Look, they're all clumped up on riverside, so he's basically defending 3 entrances. This is main, the gate on top left and top right on his own right now on 100 HP. The enemy medic dies, but his team loses their roamer and the scouts, so all he can do is turn it into 1 frag. His roamer dies as well, and his medic is lost on 90 HP. I'm gonna pause the demo in 3, 2, 1. The mistake here, like I said, started when he was he realized that with his Uber that he did, it was just an Uber trade, and the enemy wanted just to force the Uber off, because the rest of the blue team kept their HP nicely. So he tried to apply a lot of pressure with his buff and still with his Uber flash on top right on the balcony. It's a good thing to do, just to get like another rocket or 2 onto the enemy combo, which forces them to hold a bit and buff up, and they can't instantly recycle and repush on the damage the Uber force they did on top right on last. What happened was that his team got really let's say distracted by some plays in Riverside. Nobody really died there for a while, but they ended up with a roamer, the demo, and both scouts into Riverside, which forced his medic basically to focus the heals there as well. So Cube ended up on 100 HP for a long time. Everybody misread this situation and they thought they're now in the driving seat to push out of this, while actually the enemy probably just kept their HPs nicely and lured them into safety to push out, and then they overextended there and got got caught off guard and lost a lot of people in lobby. The medic had 90% charge, so it was a failed push out of last. I'm gonna unpause in 3, 2, 1. Standard rollout once again. Standard gullywash rollout, that is. Scouts have a good buff. And let's see where the enemy demo is playing. He's again playing in valley and going up left side. They're really indecisive here, which direction they should go up. They're going up right side now. He jumps on the point. The first scout of his team goes down. He gets a scout in return. Can't see his rover right now making a play. He's fighting for his medic life. Can't really connect the first shots with his soldier, and essentially his medic dies. Let's watch if he can survive here or not. I'm gonna pause actually in 3, 2, 1. So I'm gonna explain that mid really quick. I don't know if this comes down to your scouts not calling it fast enough or your medic misunderstanding the call, but the enemy demo was up on the left side while your scouts and your demo were up on the right side. They were gonna right side. Your medic went a bit into the left of banana, so you felt like going there for 1 to 2 seconds as well, and then you realize that the enemy demo is playing there, so you probably can't go up, and you would get stuck in that scenario. And every split second that you don't actually do anything, or you're not really making a decision in Valley, gives the enemy team time to get into position in top, and as soon as they have heals there, and the heals were instantly on top left, and yours weren't, they will just out heal and out damage your combo or your soldiers and scouts and demos on top. So if you know the enemy's position, the enemy demoman's position, and you want to just mirror his map instead of going towards him, and so far this is your plan on mids, your combo has to be faster on top right and just take position, because this is the split second to second that it comes down to in the end. I don't know if this what you're doing right now will end up in any kills. You're on 132 HP stuck behind the enemy now, and they have the front spawn wave coming in. Maybe you're stuck between a front spawn wave and a back spawn wave. One thing that you will realize, or that the new map Viaduct will teach us Europeans this season, is that TF2, or teaches more, make us more aware of, is that TF2 has obviously some mechanics like spawn waves and suicidal waves and whatever, and you should try, after such a failed mid, you should try to die as fast as possible, especially on the pocket soldier. You're pretty slow and useless behind the enemies, while I think like a scout or something can still try to backup. A soldier can roam his way out of there, maybe make a play behind them, but you're really slow and stale, and you can't really jump around without killing yourself. So you should try to make a play as fast as possible, and don't try to survive behind them, because if they're smart, they will just ignore you and will keep you where you are. Like, they want to keep you where you are here right now, and then just push on to second, because you're on the other side of the map, basically separated from your team. So I'm gonna unpost in 3, 2. So you took that mat pack, and you're taking an ammo pack as well. That soldier didn't see you, that was surprising. And you shot a rocket, gave away your positioning, so see, like, this is everything a second. You're not really with your team right now, and you know that. I know that you know this, but you're outnumbering your team. The soldier is long gone. Like, he can be fighting with the enemy, etc. And if you're actually getting frags now behind them in choke, this would really surprise me and would come down to them being bad game as well. You get Shifty. He is a bad gamer, so that doesn't surprise me too much that you get him. Well, again, you're a bit useless behind them, and your scout dies now, so the team is outnumbered. War's getting really aggressive. It's really nice if he survives this, and they do get good frags in return. That's a roaming soldier and a demo down, so you guys can retake second basically almost uncontested, and you should try to create momentum towards choke. no stickies, so you don't have to even check for them. I would always check on the right side here into the banana, like literally go there, it's a pocket on your right to check if there's a scout. Because now this could be a distraction for a scout to just come in and kill you, but or your medic obviously. Just a little side note that often happened to me, that I went to choke and gullywash, got distracted by some soldiers, then a scout is just two-shotting my medic from the side. Well, this is typically gullywash here right now, just stalematy plays, but it's also, if you look over that, is really boring. It's also kind of an interesting situation because people really have to feel out each other, try to peek where the enemy is holding, try to chip it, do a little bit more chipping damage than the other team, and try to create some sort of area that you can slowly take over to actually have an advantage pushing into them. So let's see how it goes. Or sticking that up. I guess you guys are gonna go for like a bait play in Big Tour, which is an obvious thing to do at the moment. A lot of people like to do this because a lot of really high tier teams do this constantly. Yes, like, and now you're gonna pop around at once, and yeah, that's a pick. That's a good move by your team here. You get forced, it's a multi-charge, you jump out of this, it's a good situation if you now commit back to it. Like, see, you have 3 people behind him, you should get back because otherwise your combo's just gonna die, and you do this. So really good play by your team, and you read the situation nicely. Shrike comes in from the flank, he loses 1 scout for this exchange, brilliant move. Soldier jumps somewhere, ignore him, just go to point, exactly. Stay on point now, your demo will stick you in. They have to come towards you and you get them around. Good push, really nice. I was about to say that jumping on top when you already got the flash on you, like the Uber was already multied, was an arguable decision, but in the end, you had so many people around and in front of them that it didn't really matter. But I think in situations like this, one rocket can change everything. So top right again, you're not really taking position, you're controlling the lower ground with your soldier partner Shrike, and for some bizarre reason, to be fair, the enemy team is not really contesting middle or are not coming towards the point, and this was awkward. See, you're doing exactly what I was talking about earlier, just leaving that soldier behind, because he's getting used to this. But now, ooh, that shouldn't be happening. That was way too close, my friend. It's a bit of awareness. I call it the goldfish syndrome, when you see something and you forget about it within the next 3 seconds because you get distracted. Uber's forced. You're gonna get flashed in to create some momentum with this. You're not gonna get the enemy demo. The enemy Uber is gonna get popped really late, so you're gonna have a hard time. Ether pistoling. You should have a hard time to retake this if the enemy plays it right, but Ritalin dies, and I think he played medic, so that's it basically. Good job by your team, and a bit of a misplay, a bad play by Lox there. Shifty gets your medic though, so you should already stay on the front spawn. I don't think actually anybody else died that could build in time. Not too sure. Don't take my word on this. Because you guys are playing without heals here, so if they won, they could kill you. If they really actually would coordinate this, and you're losing vital Uber percentages. But I think your demo was with your medic. It looked like you have crits. Yeah, you have crit charge. So it's a wise decision. Cassus died later than Ritalin, so you have a disadvantage, and this is an awesome situation. Your demoman is down, so you're gonna get soldier crits, and soldier crits are so awesome. And oh, there we go, that's what I'm talking about. This is just awesome. This is a really good situation for you, and you probably love that when this shit happens. So 3 awesome kills for you. Nice rockets, and create momentum now, get another soldier frag. You have absolutely no setup for last. Just excuse me. You just roll on the point. 2-2-1 for you. So let's see what the enemy does now. Again, I don't really understand what the ideas of these medals is, where most of your soldiers are staying on the ground. Probably some sort of the concept behind is to let the enemy team push to top left and then counter jump them with more HP because you weren't the first guys on the point. Now you go up left side this time. Jump. Scout, good damage on the scout. He's gonna get. Oh, that was weird splash. Tier 2 still very buggy. Should have got that scout. And yeah, you created a lot of damage and the soldiers were firing. 2 soldiers were firing at you on the ground while your scouts were almost uncontested. Cassus died, which is unlucky, or to be fair, is a bit bad because you obviously went down while dealing damage and distracting people at the same time. So someone in your team should have had the HP and should have felt the urge to actually pocket Cassus properly, and then you could have really could have been your point already, or your there's a scout behind you, your medic, and you know it. You should contest him. But it's maybe a wise decision to just back out because exactly there's the enemy team behind them, so that's a good call to just stay out. You're jumping away from your medic here, this can turn out badly, and there we go. I'm gonna pause. 3, 2, 1. You saw your demo man getting flanked by a scout in the top left while your medic was behind you on big door, and there were also a lot of people behind next to your medic out of your team. So you felt in your head, you made like the calculation of, I'm either gonna risk here for my medic to get jumped and him dying, or I'm gonna, like, my exchange would be my demo man just staying alive and we can actually hold mid with damage and stalling out people. And I think what the reason why you decided to jump was because there were other people around your medic that were able to pocket in the moment you left him. But so far in the 3 runs that we've seen, nobody's really properly pocketing. Like, your scouts are chasing frags and they're doing so far not a good job of actually staying with your medic when you're jumping him. So at one point in every game you should analyze, or I think almost at every point you should analyze your game and the flaws of your teams already. So if you feel like tonight is the night where somebody had a bad day at work, so they can't really be asked with playing their roles properly or whatever, so your medic is dying over and over again, even so you'd want to jump away and you want to get that frag and you want to have war alive, the medic is always more important, because heals enable cap points and not like in exchange. What does it matter if war is alive and damage the enemy if they actually just get healed? So his damage is just nullified in the end, while when your medic stays alive and war dies, you can still work off that. So just play tighter to your medic. Don't expect somebody else in your team to actually fulfill your role when you want to do something else. It's something that I still have to learn as well, and that I have learned in the last couple of months starting to play pocket. That I can't just jump away and expect somebody else to instantly be on the same mind page and be ready to do whatever I want him to do. I'm gonna unpause in 3, 2, 1.
The control point is being contested.
So your medics are now down. So then that's what I mean. They can work with this. Like they don't even go towards your damage. They don't want to contest you. They have an uber advantage now, and I know Ritalin as a player, he's pretty passive. So his team could have won this by just muscling it in and forcing you to fight them and then get the frags, but they don't. They just want to play off this uber advantage, and they're gonna come on you any second now, and there they are. So good spam. Your team tries to force them without really committing to it. The onslaught of rockets is something that you always have to look out for, and you notice now, so you are aware of that. Because you have disadvantage, you can't really play on the ground. It's a good read that you guys start to back up over the point and not into lobby. Not retreating over the ground, but actually over the higher ground. It's always a good thing. And now with that pick, you can actually contest them. And multi-charge on them already. I don't know if your demo got flashed. You're again jumping a bit too far out for my taste. Like, you already got flashed, the Uber charges for, so I guess the call is to cycle around to Victor here. This is sniper up, that just your medic, he's on top left. And nice job, he's gonna get taken down. You're separated from your medic. I think your medic is somewhere on the right. There he is. I'm pause here in 3, 2, 1. So again, a thing I see so far. Your medic has to go up right side, I saw him going up right side from your perspective, and there was a sniper on the left side of the point. I understand your thought process of being like, okay, I killed that guy, and I reconnect with my medic. But if you think about how your medic sees the situation, he comes up on top, his soldier disappears behind the point, and that's what you do. Like, you weren't in his point of view, you were blocked by the CP, and he sees 2 soldiers on the point, so he hesitates to come forward to you. You are, while that on the other side of the point, getting that frag, reloading, and you are way to buff in the next few seconds. Then while you reconnect with him, when you both realize that you have to go towards each other to actually start to get beefy and effective, if you wanted to a 2v1 or 2-on-2 basically, but he's not dealing damage, so it's a 2-on-1 soldier situation. If you actually want to win this, he has to give you a buff, and when you started to get buffed, they just jumped you and you died. So next time maybe try to jump maybe on the point or on the right side where your medic could connect with you earlier. Overall, what I try to get rid of at the moment is that I stop just jump completely. Like, I feel that every time I jump this 10 meters from like a big door point to choke or big door to the point or whatever, there's always somebody that is able to utilize on that gap between me and my medic, and I leave my medic invulnerable for, even if it's just 2 seconds, even if it's just a second or 3 seconds or whatever, there's always that scout, that soldier, that sniper that can see the gap and utilize that. So I want to be in front of him. I could walk up on right side, and then I would be 300 HP and try to work off that much rather than jumping to get kills, because this on one side becomes really predictable, and on the other side is just HP management in the end, I guess, and keeping your medic alive. We're gonna unpause in 3, 2, 1. So you're gonna get taken down here shortly. There we go. Shrike's not gonna get any kills here, because he was weak already as well. So you lost your medic late, you lost both soldiers really late, and it's gonna be a tough one for your team to actually contest second here. War's fighting a soldier on top. He really, like, War's now a key player in this hold. He has to try to stay alive. And Ethark dies. You're kind of jumping that soldier. I don't know really what is going on here. Why did Ethark just die for this? And you are weak. Now Shrike is down. Like, you're losing too many people for nonsense, basically. There was no point in fighting second. Give it up and defend last with like 6 figures. This okay. Well, you're getting good rockets off, good damage off. Your scouts are jumping between you and the damage. You're disappearing into water. That soldier is just chasing you, and you have a heavy up, so you might be able, if that heavy comes out of water now and actually plays on the point, and you have charge as well, so now you can actually defend. That was came down to good positioning by you and War. You dealt a lot of damage to the enemy, just you two on your own, and then the scouts cleaned up the frags. So a bit of a rush push for Locks TF here. You're getting contested on second, on last even, sorry, and you push out of this. If you get this frag, there we go. Uber got forced. You should still go, like, this is a tough decision, and I'm not too sure what to do in that scenario right now. As a pocket, I don't want my roamer to be a pocket or my demo to be a pocket or whatever. I want to push out to contest this second. Was there a shadow on the left side? Or am I seeing things? I think I'm seeing things. Well, either way, I don't want to be the guy defending last. Like, I much rather have like my roamer defending last, or yeah, have him like off-classing to heavy if he feels like he can't really do much with gambos. But I'm still the pocket. Like, I can't play disconnected from my medic. I want to be there 24/7 basically, to be able to defend him, and they're going to last now. Well, Sheepy capped, and you basically popped your Uber for second, I think, to get to second, or no, you popped in Riverside already, so there was no point in you, or no opportunity for you to even defend that when they came in. Nice rocket on the end, by the way, that was good. Standard rollouts. War is a bit slow on mid at the moment. Demo's on right side, so you would go up left. That's exactly what happens. You kind of jump their side, and now Shrike should get in. Where's Shrike's jump? No, he's checking the drop down for your team. This is really weird Roma play. You're getting flanked. You're doing an awesome job here, like. Saw so many people flanking, and you just checked it. I think what initially happened on that mid was that somebody called a soldier and dropped down or whatever. And actually, we're gonna pause this. I'm gonna explain the thought process that I have when that happens. In 3, 2, 1. So, if you're afraid of a soldier jumping your drop down, it's an easy thing. You should always realize that he's playing in a choke point, that you're not standing there, you're not playing around a med pack, you're playing around the point. Like, your team, as soon as somebody's called going drop down, your team should push forward as a force. Shrike should go in, you should follow it up, and maybe just one scout is enough. Watch us behind a bit, like just a meat shot or like 50 damage scattergun shot keeps the soldier in place, and he's outnumbering his team constantly. What happened essentially now was that both of your soldiers were turning around for this choke point. Shrike was not roaming at all this whole mid, he was just really sticking to your medic like glue. You had to spread the heals between 5 people in the same place, and essentially they just feeded you by attacking at different times. Like this, you got a soldier with a nice rocket initially on the mid after 1 second, and then a scout flanked you, just rushed it towards you and whatever. So they had poor coordination play that made you win this. If you are playing a badder team and their roam is jumping behind you in choke and you all turn around, you're gonna get destroyed basically, because they're gonna have a soldier jump. What would you do with a soldier that didn't die in the first place there on their mid? Would be alive and be jumping you from the front while you turn around. So it's a thing you should talk about with your team here, because this can't happen in a real game. Like, I'm not saying this is not a real game, but in a game against better opponents, this wouldn't really work out. So you Ubered here into last while the scout is capping. You're taking a scout in that Uber with the demo. It's going to be an interesting decision making here if they are going for frags or if they're going to play for a point, because this is a perfect scenario in which like demo could just muscle his way in, deal some damage, and then sticky up the point while the scout just rushes through sneaky or whatever. So I'm gonna unpost it in 3, 2, 1. So he's taking a point and your scout rushes it, he gets the frag, but he dies to a sticky trap. The demo probably played in water already. Frag roams on the demo, gets a soldier in return and keeps the point. So well played to everyone there. What was good coordination play. There's nothing really much like you can do against the demo in water unless you instantly have somebody flanking through the riverside or a soldier jumping him already when you push into the point. Like jump over the ring. Demo on the left side, you go up right. Good decision. Controlling that scout on the right side, and now everybody else should move forward. Again, great rocket. And this damage on the demo should mean that you win this mid. Strike good damage as well, and this is your mid. Good job. It could turn out that because your guys are playing very bunched up, like it's like different phases of mid. You have one where you see the enemy combo, then you decide where to go up, and then you go up. But then I think you're lacking inspiration, or you're like in initiation even. You're like your team is just really clustered up in front of choke, and they're waiting for the enemy to jump them. While I think if you're already in that position, and you didn't really get damaged that much, you should always try to initiate. Not you as a pocket, of course, but more you, like, as a team should have the mindset that somebody needs to initiate this. So now you're rolling on last, without the enemy having Uber, and everybody of them is basically playing on the point, so you're gonna flank them. And this is a good situation for you to play in, because they are so blind, they're just spamming rockets, and they have a limited room to play on, and you get a lot of good frags and damage done. So good job. Basically, if you end up on top right or top left, it doesn't matter where you end up, and the enemy has one good jumper on you and one sticky hits you or one pipe hits your team at the same time, they will end up having so much damage in a small radius of, or small area of the map, that you're all gonna die there. So I'm gonna talk about this here. Look, and now nobody's really going forward. Here, you're stuck. You're stuck in this little area, and this could end so bad for your team. Counter jump this soldier though there. It shouldn't really be your job. Like, you shouldn't be the soldier jumping. That's always what I'm stretching at the moment when I have demo reviews. It's not anymore, like, we're not playing in a system anymore where both soldiers are equal in terms of movement. One soldier with the gunboats always has the upgrade of not damaging himself, so he should always, like a roamer, should always try to, if it's not called to play really aggressive, he should always try to keep his buffs or HP as long as possible, to then, after your team is in position to fight and work off from, to be able to counter jump the enemy team and distract them. And so far I haven't really seen that happening from your roamer. Oh, your medic ended up really weak and you're in a horrible position, so your team decides to rotate through that, and that's a good move, because you got a flank pick already, and you can take the higher ground here. You jumped away from your medic again, your medic died. This is exactly what I was talking about. Don't jump. I think after you've watched this, and maybe we will see this a couple of times, you will start to realize that this is not what you should be doing. Like, and you already had people top, it's unnecessary. It's the gap that I'm talking about here, that people see to just destroy you, and I basically blame your medic not staying alive and you not covering your medic now just on you, and this loses you the second point. You lose your demo now. You jump again. Take a lot of, like, you're soaking up a lot of heals just to get into a different area. You're now getting healed for 3 seconds. Shrek is distraction jumping, not really dealing too much damage. He's now distracting, so it's a good job. Look, like, they don't really know what to do, and Shrek, I don't know where Shrek ended up in. He was gone from missing in action for a while after his distraction. Ethak dies, so now just people, now you should actually just go out and, like, regroup. Absolutely no point if people start to, like, suicide separately and not gonna end up in the same spawn waves to try to fight it. You're holding that charge and choke, and you're getting an Uber flash. Again, you jumped out of it, but I think that you realize that you got flashed so late, or you even got flashed in the jump, that I can't blame you for that. And you're gonna get destroyed just because your team there, like, you and your demo, let in through so many people through choke, even though it was Uber versus Uber. That was really, really weird. And War on his buff lets your medic die here because he decides to save his own life much rather than your medic's. And if he stays alive for last defense, this is gonna be good. But if not, then that's not really good. He gets a frack in return though, a scout. And you have a heavy setup for the last defense, so, and the pyro as well. And the pyro is in a good position if he realizes, but he doesn't, so he's gonna get useless now. The enemy is in already, and they have charge, and now you're getting flanked by a soldier, and he gets a frag, and they're setting up on point, so It was poor positioning by your pyro that lost you that hold, basically.
You failed.
I can explain that. I'm gonna pause in 3, 2, 1. Your pyro decided to be not on the pipe in the middle of the both entrances left and right. He decided to be like on the wood pile right next to him. It is a small detail of that play that makes it fail. You actually, if you want to be most effective on pyro, you have to stay on the pipe right behind the pillar in the middle of the room, because then you have enough time, like reaction time, and the smallest space between all entrances. So that means that you are getting more effective if you play from there. Like your pyro had to jump on the pipe and then walk towards Riverside, while the enemy team just needs to walk in. Like it takes them 1 second to be in, and your pyro needs like 2 or 3 seconds to react to it. But if he's actually on the pipe, he can just drop down, is instantly in front of Riverside. He can jump on the balcony, is instantly on balcony. He can drop to left, is instantly on the gate. So if somebody plays pyro, please advise him to know what he's doing next time. Gonna unpause in 3, 2.
Last one alive, lock the door.
Standard rollout, 2 scouts, no off classes. Taking a kit, and let's see where the enemy demo is playing. So he's playing on right side. He is staying long in valley. It's alright. A lot of good chipping damage, controlling one soldier. Their soldiers are just going for your demo, and your scouts can clean up. This is awesome. That's really good. Like, you're gonna lose maybe 1 or 2 people, but that should be it. They focus so much spam on your demo there that nobody really got damaged but him, so you could just stay, yeah. Let's pause here for a second in 3, 2, 1. One thing that I notice about your mids is that if you do a jump, most of the times, like if you do a jump onto the middle point, you're not actually jumping on the point. You're not actually jumping on the highest ground possible. And you know, I saw you play an MGE on your stream a lot, or DM or whatever. Whenever, let's take Spire as an advantage, as an example. If you want to counter jump somebody on Spire, or you want to fight somebody on Spire, you never just jump on the half height of the Spire. You cannot hit perfect rockets on the guy on top. You always want to end up on the highest ground possible. You can even go on the fence on Spire to have a bigger advantage, because that guy can't really, without C-tapping, jumping onto you. He has to jump on a platform in front of you, and then you have better rockets than he has on you, etc. So if we convert this, what we learned in MGE, towards a situation on the middle point, I would always advise you, if you have a good buff and you just had 300 on that middle, to jump onto the point and fight somebody, because he actually has to come towards your area to deal effective damage. He has to jump directly towards you on the point that you're standing in, because if he just jumps next to you on the ground, he's basically screwed. You have awesome rockets, like you have easy rockets on him, and you're going to destroy him. This is an upgrade of jumping on the point. The next thing that you're going to do, well, because they have to counter jump you on the point, is that your demo knows where the enemy soldiers are going to end up in. Like, you're luring people into a situation, into a position where your demo knows they're going to end up in. So what's going to happen is, you're maybe going to hit a rocket or not, they're going to juggle you down back to in valley, and you're still on like 230, 220 HP, still in reach for your medic that just is on top left. You already controlled 1 of their soldiers, maybe 2, and you already, maybe also the enemy demo spammed you or whatever, and your demo can just destroy them. They're watching you again. They're wasting all their heals, all their damage on you, and your demo is basically uncontested for a while. So try this. Maybe it works better if you don't feel confident of doing it, and then keep off jumping the point and really fighting somebody in a one-on-one on top. Then yeah, keep on then you can just do what you're doing at the moment, because it seems to work. But yeah. Like I said, one good roamer, one good jumper could change everything there instantly, like we've seen before. I'm gonna unpause in 3, 2, and 1. So your team took middle, Shrike is almost dead. He really has to watch out.
Time has been
And
added.
that hunter died so sheepy, so I guess he might have been on last already, just to try to get like a sneaky backup. Yeah, you should always predict a pyro in these situations here right now. Your second scout is down, so you got this sentry gun, and you've just focused a lot of time and damage on the medic that you could have focused on this guy, on the soldier here. But Shrike reads the situation and the enemy team is distracted and caps off point behind them.
Feel good.
Everything's standard. The demo seems to be playing in shock because your soldier lost his buff already. You're counter jumping the enemy soldier, dropping down because that demo is fighting you, and your medic is down. I'm gonna pause in 3, 2. One thing that I noticed is as soon as people get spammed by a demo min from the right side early, as soon as the soldier sees, oh god, my buff is taken away, I'm just on 200 HP, they start to fall into some sort of like, what's it called, agony, or like just their mentality or mindset changes, that they start to play passive and really indecisive. And Shrike was on 220 HP when he left Victor. That still means if he jumps, he's on 200 HP in the air, and the enemy demo thinks that you're not going to jump him. That's why he's going to overextend and play aggressive on the point, what he did the whole time. And you are basically giving him the perfect angle, the perfect arc of sticky rain onto you if you guys are indecisive and playing on the ground. So far, the idea of your mids was to counter the demo, which always ended up nicely for you guys. So I was really surprised to see you switching this up now and actually trying to contest them on the top area here. Yeah. So I'm gonna unpause in 3, 2, 1. And that's the middle basically for the enemy team. Sorry, while I was talking, I didn't really pay attention if the enemy medic was up, but he didn't cap the second point, so the middle point, so I guess he wasn't. And you guys are playing with the sniper to get a pick in Riverside, and depends now if the enemy has charge or not, because if they don't, you should hold so much closer to the gate on left side to be able to just walk out of that. And your team is actually starting to get aggressive, so they definitely lost their medic on the middle point, and you have people in the lobby. It's a good situation to work from. Your scout here is doing a mistake though, because he's still sniping, and we don't know if the enemy has crits or not or whatever, and they're actually almost in your lobby. He body shots the demo and the scout, so he made up for that. But actually, I don't really like scouts staying on utility classes when the next stage of the game or of the map requires them of capping fast, and they're just not capping fast if they're snipers. Sorry. Team is stuck on top. The enemy Uber is horrible. Scout is weak. Shrike is missing the shotgun now, and because the gunboats obviously take them away from you if you use the gunboats. Your demo dies really late. The enemy team even drops your medic now, and this would have been a time to jump them. Like they were not looking at you at all when your scout roamed around to rock and distracted from there, and now you're so weak that basically everything you try to play, every time you play on a medic now, they know where you are, they will stall you out. Your scout was 7 HP and still capping. This is too risky. Like a player life is already more valuable than another 5 seconds on a CP or something, and now even that scout is gonna get caught out here. Shrike dies, so everybody's dying now, and you should just give it up.
Thanks for the aid.
Poor play by your flank there. Like, that scout capping on 7 HP is so unnecessary, and it's just basically asking for getting picked there. Like saying, hey, guys, I'm so weak, please just kill me. And then Shrike dies on the point because he was weak as well. So it was a classic overextend. Good frags now. And there was a soldier in sneaky. I hope you do realize that he's still there. Yeah. Scout and Ward is a pick. You wrap around, Shrike gets him in return. So it ended well because the other team also has no idea how to push into a last point without sacrificing 5 people to it. Sheepy again causing some mayhem somewhere. Don't jump so much. Like, these little jumps that you do here and here, they're absorbing so much of your ammo. You're constantly out of ammo, and you could wander around on 300 HP constantly. Look, you weren't in a chokehold position because you were going for an ammo pack. You wouldn't be you wouldn't need to be going for your ammo packs constantly if you wouldn't jump around for 10-meter distances so much. It's a tiny bit, like a tiny detail in your gameplay or in your style that I've realized so far that is costing you a lot of control over your game in the end. Like, you know what I mean? In the end, you're just not in a position you should be in. Ethag dies again. They're not really having too much of a good game other than on last holes at the moment. And wow, that enemy medic, that Richland guy, just fucked up big time. So I don't know what that was about, but he could have probably saved his scout. You're getting flanked. Just run out. Unlucky, you get picked by Zoop. The team takes the opponent in return, so it's all cool.
Time has been added.
Your demo's down and your scout is down. That both died to Shifty. And I think we're almost over with our demo review. Just looking into it, it looked like 10 seconds on the clock. And that probably explains also why Ritalin was just kneeling to a point. Kessler should pop Uber here because that would mean he would get another point. Let's talk about what I saw. The first thing is, and it basically applies so far for Sideshow and you both have good aim. You most of the time have a good read on the game when it comes down to focusing people down. But you both jump too much. Like, it's not your job to jump on the other side of it in an area, a cap point area or whatever, to save someone. Your only job on your team is to try to keep your medic alive as long as possible, because if your medic is alive, people can heal and enter area, take area, and area means cap points, and cap points means wins. And I think after you've seen this, maybe you know it already, you realize that getting quite predictable and abusable in the end, these little gaps that you create between you and your medic, you're jumping into these gaps, and jumping around also forces you to constantly end up in a position want to be in. You're always going to end up being low HP, low ammo, and your medic has to basically walk across like a big distance as well. Like, if you jump away to save someone and you actually are a combo and you have synergy going on, then he always will try to follow you. And most of the times now when I saw you jumping in a scenario to save someone, it was never really a situation I would want to end up with my medic or on my own. So this is just the advice I give you. Play it more slowly with a less aggressive approach. This will teach your scouts, like, your scouts will maybe die more often because they're not really backed up that much by soldiers, but the scouts are dying too often either way, so maybe they learn it that way, that they're not supposed to take scout one-on-ones on the flank or soldier scout one-on-ones, whatever, you know what I mean? Like there was constantly someone down on the flank, and I can't really work off that as a combo if you're getting risked by or getting flanked a lot. So yeah, but other than that, you hit really a couple of really good shots. The crits was awesome, and I hope this demo review helps you. See you next time, guys.